All right. Hello, hello. We're going to put the music. All right, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, we're just getting started, going live on TikTok and YouTube for the first time in a while, or for the first time ever. We're doing a vertical live stream on YouTube. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to say hello in the chat. Hello in the chat, and we will see how that goes. It's not cheating, says AP, not Automars. I'd love to chat with you. If you'd like to come on and share your opinion, share why you think it's not cheating, you can go ahead and hit the request button. That is not up there yet, but it will be in just a second. And share why. Why do you think that it is not cheating to masturbate while having sex with strangers? All right. Like and share the live. Cheating involves a real person. Okay. So when precisely does cheating become cheating? When precisely does cheating become cheating in your point of view? Like precisely. Is the request box there? Yes, I think it is. I just think it's unfortunately been normalized. Yeah, it has definitely been normalized. Husband swears he's over it, but has done nothing other than just stop watching. What are the chances? Very low. Very, very low. The odds of somebody recovering from a porn or sex addiction without getting some sort of help is pretty much not going to happen. And the data supports that. There's saying that the odds of relapse within 6 months, if you don't get some sort of professional help, is basically 100%. So A for effort, he's done. He's just going to stop watching. Great. But that will typically fall short, and he'll find himself back there at some point in time. I hope not. Maybe he doesn't, but that's just typically what happens. Connor, what's going on, man? Let's go. Let's go. Morning live. He did about 5 months of therapy, but went back to it after that. Claims to be a few months without it. Okay, so, okay, good job for him for trying that. And it's a 2 to 5 year process to rewire the brain back to normal. Once you start getting help or embracing a process of recovery from a porn or sex addiction. It's kind of a good news, bad news there. 2 to 5 years is a long time, but it's also possible. It's possible. So great. Let's strive for something better. All right, let's bring a guest on here. Hey there, how's it going?
Hi, I'm not American, but I try to explain my situation. Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hi there. Good morning. Good. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good morning. Good to see you. I'll always come to your live just to listen and learn.
Okay.
I just wanted to come up and say I've struggled with porn for a very long time. For a very, very long time. I've struggled with masturbation for a very long time. And I think it's just a cycle that I find myself in, this spiral, this addiction. I mean, this goes back to my teenage years, and I'm now in my 40s. So you can imagine.
Yep.
Probably over 25 years of addiction. Struggles, everyday struggle. And I've struggled for a very long time. I felt ashamed of myself. I have felt hopeless. And I don't know what will help me to break this cycle.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man. That's very real.
It's just a terrible situation that I find myself.
How does it feel just to get that out there?
It feels traumatic, really.
Feels
to share your inner struggles. Yeah. And just to admit that I have a problem, which I do.
Yeah.
It's been a very heavy shoulder on me. I struggled with it, and I continue to struggle with it on a daily basis. It has destroyed my relationship with people. It has destroyed. It's like, I don't know. I just feel so secluded to myself, so preoccupied with myself. I don't know if that's a selfish thing to do, but I don't know how I will break this chain. If I were to share today, I've pleasured myself 4 or 5 times just today. It's just a spiral.
Yeah.
And I feel there's an advent of erectile dysfunction happening right in front of my eyes. And I can feel it. I can feel a pain down there that just goes on. And this would lead to some dysfunction of some sort at some point.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing that. You can't change what you don't name, and it takes courage to name something that's really difficult to face. So good for you. Who else in your life knows that this is a struggle for you?
I think it's just a private thing to me. I haven't shared this with anybody significant, so to speak.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection with other people. And in order to have connection with other people, we have to be courageous enough to tell them what's actually going on for us, which is risky, because you have to risk showing somebody that you're struggling with something, that you don't have it all together, which nobody wants to do. But you did it here. Are you in a relationship?
Yes, I'm married to. But it's a terrible situation that I find myself in. Yes, I'm married, but I have this problem. But I don't live with my wife and mother of my children. Don't live with her, so.
Okay.
Just
Why
have
is
to
that?
be away. We don't live together.
Yeah.
I just don't feel the connection. I haven't separated, and I think putting her in this situation is really terrible on me, because I genuinely don't have feelings for her, and I think she feels it. I'm not even sexually attracted because I have this addiction, which she doesn't know. But she's
she-
try to understand this. God, I don't even know what to say. Really, it's a terrible situation. This is having a partner that I can't communicate my inner feelings, my struggles with, and I find that I feel because of this addiction that I feel distant from her,
Yeah.
sexually, physically.
That's the root of the
Emotionally.
issue. The issue is not pornography. Pornography is a symptom of the disconnection that you have with her and probably in other relationships in your life. Because you're not seen and known by other people. And that's causing you to go to pornography, to go to something to numb that pain. And then it's a cycle that repeats itself. It's a shame loop. How old were you when you first found pornography?
Probably when I was about 17 or thereabout. 17 or 18, yeah, probably about 17. I was probably about 17 years.
And how did that happen?
And I'm 45 now, so you can imagine.
How did that
It's a
happen?
long-
How did you first find it?
I think back in the day we used to go to the pictures, watch a cinema, and then obviously after the normal cinema, then we would stay behind, and then they will put these movies like once everybody has left. So one of the cinema operators was a friend of mine, and they will start putting these strictly adult movies back in it, as they're called, and this is way back in the 90s, right? And we started watching this together with him and a group of friends, and I think that's how I started just being around that circle.
Yeah.
We literally stayed behind the cinema because he was the operator of the cinema, you see, and we'll stay behind and he'll bring these tapes and we start watching them. And
So you would go to
before,
movies with your friends.
we were hooked, and we would do that every day.
Yeah. When you were a teenager, you'd see a movie. Then afterwards, the person in charge of the cinema would play pornography for you guys to watch.
Yes.
Hmm. And then what did that turn into as you got older?
So obviously with the advent of the internet, then I remember it really steps in and I started just watching tons of pornography. Not more the video types, but it was the pictures, like these pictures, right? And we'll watch that endlessly. And then obviously with the streaming, I started now streaming pornography, and I continue to do to this present day.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, you're describing a pretty classic exposure and escalation to it, to pornography. To here you are, 40-some years old, and you keep on going back to it, and you have this shameful, disgusting feeling when you do, and you don't know how to get out of this.
And the funny thing is, once I watch, and maybe it's not just a watching bit, it's you watch and then you masturbate on it. And then once I masturbate, I shut everything off and I'm fine. But then a few hours later, I'll be back on it again. And it's just endless and endless. And it feeds into my masturbation, which is a terrible thing. I wouldn't have minded just watching it, just as you watch any other movie or, but it is that watching the pornography and the actual act, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
They're intertwined together.
Totally, because you've now made a connection to where, in
Yes.
order to get a cheap hit of dopamine, to have the spike in your brain that feels really good, you got to look at pornography. And so you go look at
Yes.
the pornography, it feels good, it looks good to you, and then you masturbate, and then not too long afterwards, you feel worse about yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's why the brain science really supports that it is an addiction, because, and you're describing it, that you just can't help yourself but to keep going back to it.
It's just like once I've like hit the high and that dopamine has flowed into my brain, I don't need that pornography anymore. I don't feel any feelings for it. I don't want it. I feel ashamed. It's disgusting. But it's when I start to crave it again, after a few hours later, I crave and I feel like I can't even stop. I can't stop accessing it. Whatever demons possess me at that time, I don't know what they are. I'll just find myself coming back to it again, watching it, pleasuring myself, and then obviously hitting that high and cut it off again. And then go. God, just a terrible cycle.
Do you believe you can stop?
Do I believe I can stop? Yes.
Okay.
Possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. There's no question about that. And it'll take a lot of hard work to do that for you. What do you, just check in with yourself right now? What do you notice about, talking about this for the last 10 or so minutes? What feelings do you notice coming up in your body?
I mean, I feel a multitude of feelings. One, obviously, shame. I feel that yes, I need help. And thirdly, I think there's personal responsibility that comes with all this, that I might do something about it. So these are the kind of feelings that I have now. So shame and guilt, knowing that I'm in a mess, in deep mess, and therefore also I feel that there's an element of personal responsibility, which I might I should be taking responsibility for this, but how to do it is just now.
Yeah.
And it's not a hopeless situation.
Totally. Yeah. So, look, first of all, thank you for sharing, man. And chat, can you just support him? Can you just support him? Put W's in the chat or some sort of words of encouragement to him for vulnerably sharing here about his struggle. That is the hardest part of any transformation process in life, is naming the issue and declaring what you're wanting to be different and moving towards that. So thank you for sharing, man.
Thank you so much. So I'll be on mute. I'll be down there.
Well,
Thank you so much for listening.
Hold on. Can I share one more thing with you?
Yes, please.
Brene Brown has been for the last 10 or so years like a researcher on shame and vulnerability. And she says that she defines shame as the intensely painful feeling that we are unworthy of love and belonging, which is different from guilt, which is a focus on a specific behavior, like I did something bad, whereas shame is a focus on the self that says I am bad. So shame is I am bad, guilt is I did something bad. And to decouple the hold that shame has on you, and this goes for anybody, is to separate that out. Did you do something bad, or are you bad? And the more you can move towards viewing it as guilt versus shame, then you can gain some freedom over it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And there's a lot to reflect on that, and I will try and reflect between the two, guilt and shame, and trying to untangle that and read more on this.
Yeah. Man, there's a book called Dopamine Nation, which I think would be really helpful to you. It talks about
Dopamine Nation.
Dopamine Nation. Yeah.
I think it's a dopamine, the chase of dopamine, yeah.
Exactly. And that book very nicely outlines what's going on in the brain as we're chasing dopamine hits. And it's not a book about pornography and sex, though it happens to tell a story about a guy named Jacob who continuously goes back to a masturbation machine that he made. He literally made a masturbation machine to help him get a dopamine hit in new and different ways. And I got a bunch of other resources in my bio, man. If you're interested in that, I'd love to support you in any way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for even sitting there listening to me. I deeply appreciate that.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing,
you so
man.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Have a
you
good
so
day.
much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
All right. W's in the chat for that guy. I didn't even get his name, but that takes courage. That takes courage to share something you've been holding on to for so long. L host, says Sam. Thank you, Sam. You want to come on and chat? I'd love to chat with you. Come and chat. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, good. I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Thank you, mate, for discussing this topic. Yeah, we are addicted every day since the age of 10.
You've been addicted since you're 10?
Yeah.
How old are you
I
now?
quit 1 month by using medicines, and I felt so down for 1 month. Every day of this month, I felt so down. And then I left the medicines, and then I come energetic again. So I became normal because I was so low using these medicines. So that's why I think.
You're muted, bro. And while you figure that out, I'll read Sam's comment.
Sorry.
Don't let some insecure TikTok dude tell you there's something wrong with it. Am I the insecure TikTok dude? How about you come up and chat, Sam?
No, mate, no. Thank you for discussing this one. You're discussing this one in front of 50 people, sometimes 80. I mean, no, thank you. And I don't feel too much ashamed about it. But it's good to discuss it, I mean. And yeah, I don't judge anybody, even if they are addicted or not. Even if they discuss, I appreciate it, because it's like cocaine and heroin, actually. It's like a new drug. So it should be discussed. And
so what did you do? What category of medicine did you use to stop it?
I can't remember. It was for some medicines, sometimes for sleep. Some medicines was for sleeping, and some medicines was for anxiety, I guess.
Got it.
Things like that.
And that helped you to quit porn, but then you just didn't feel good with the side effects or something, so you went.
Yeah, exactly. Because I felt so low with these medicines, I couldn't even think about smacks anymore. I was not horny at all.
Yeah.
Sorry for saying that. And I think feeling lost, it's a normal thing for women and men, but yeah.
So since you got off the medicine, did you go back to the porn?
Yeah. I left the medicines and I go back and I felt normal again. And yeah, I work very hard. I work my entire life, and maybe because of that, I didn't even have time for dating sometimes, or to date anybody, or I was betrayed many times. So I said, what's the point? Because every woman that I was she betrayed me with cheating, in messages, in DMs with other guys, and so I couldn't go anymore with them.
Yeah.
I tried one time, two times, and some of them tried to make me jealous by making another man. So I had a lot of trauma. So that's why I go back there and I said, but I got two hands and two legs, and I use this things to improve the society, and also because I'm builder, I've been painter, I've been waiter, I've sold, I did many things. I mean, so it's not that I'm a parasite. Yeah, I'm addicted, but I try to do as much as I can for the society. I try to help others as much as I can.
Why do you think that you're turning to pornography? What void do you think that you're trying to fill in your life to where you're wanting that release?
Actually, to be honest, thank you, mate. Actually, to be honest, like when I see this, when I open example Instagram or when I open TikTok, I see a lot of women there. Some of them show their boobs. Some of them are with their husbands maybe, or doing some videos, hot videos. I mean, like with their husband. Example, or example, I left then the social media. I deleted all, and then I go to the bus station, and then I see a lot of women there dressing very provocatively. And then I couldn't watch it then, but I mean for a moment, and then I watched away. But I mean sometimes it's very hard, or maybe it's, I don't know, like they dressed very provocatively. I mean, so, and I've been in front of them, and then I go to the gym, and then a lot of women's also there. So I left the gym only for 2 months. I left the gym, and then I go to the work. And now some engineer women's dressed provocatively, and then, so is it my fault? I don't know, but I just look away. But they come and ask me about the job sometimes, or bullshit like that. So it is everywhere, and I cannot go anywhere like without watching it, or without watching someone showing me their body, or I don't know, like, because I don't know, I don't think I am the only. I saw a lot of men thinking like that. They say, oh, what the hell is that, or things like that. So
Yeah, man. Well, so it sounds like you trained yourself to actually. First of all, that sounds hard, the situation that you're in. Smiling Banana, you got that right. It's because you've learned to objectify women too young, and you have to unlearn it. That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying, sorry, I was 6 years old, I guess, in the first class, or 7 years old, something like that. And then a hot teacher came into me. She was putting makeup, and she has like, maybe I objectified her, but I was just a kid. So she showed her boobs and things like that, like little bit, not too much, but I mean, I objectified her at 10 years old. Then some of the classrooms, I was only 10, and I fall in love with this with this. I'm sorry to say that, but then I fall in love with other older women sometimes, like maybe I'm mentally ill, I don't know.
How old are you now, man?
No, I'm 27.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like this is really taking a toll on your life.
Yeah. Oh, and I also, sorry, yeah, I think, like, is it my fault for looking for connection? That's absolutely normal. Someone says, like, yeah, I don't know, like I saw some young boys getting married with old women sometimes. So, or some old men's getting married with young women's. So where's the problem? Maybe it's money problems.
Well, what is it?
Because
what
when
is
you
it
have
about?
money,
What is it about older women that piques your interest?
I just like them maybe about their looks, or I don't know where's the problem about that, because I'm not ugly at all, I don't think.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I'm curious. What is it about older women that pique your interest?
Oh, I like them because they are very mature sometimes, but it's not that I like example, yeah, not to just for fun. No, I just want to stay with them. Maybe if they want me, I want to take care about them, or they to show like, I can cook, I can clean, I can do many things. So example, yeah, 50, 60, I don't care if they are on good shape, because I'm in good shape also. But I also wanted to date, yeah, I also don't have any problem dating of my age or a little bit lower.
Mhm.
So it's not that I have any problem with age gap, I mean.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, people in the comments are talking about connection. It's the craving for connection. We all just want connection. And typically in pornography, what we're actually seeking is connection with other people. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection with other people. Which begs the question, who in your life are you really connected to? Not sexually or intimately necessarily, but who in your life do you have a deep connection with, where you're seen and known and loved for who you are?
Yeah, sometimes when I do something for the people, they like me. Sometimes they give me a little bit of reward. I've been also a chess champion. They gave me a chess diploma and a medal. And
Chess champion, let's go.
yeah, not
Hey,
not
keep
the
talking. I'll be
first
right
one.
back. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
No problem. Not the first one, but the second one. I mean, only one time. Not chess champion in the world. So I don't want to brag, but I've been. Don't pay attention. Congrats on Business Smart. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Like, I appreciate everyone. Like, I don't think I'm only like, oh, God's sake. Yeah, since we're talking about the topic, yeah, I like, but I mean, I know that in life there are many, many things to do, and there are amazing people out there doing more than me, helping many other peoples. But
All right, man.
so,
Sam's request.
So,
I
yeah.
want to bring Sam up. So,
all right,
well, yeah. So,
all right.
what are you? What's your struggle with pornography currently? Like, how often are you using it, and what have you done to try
Yeah.
to stop?
Yeah, sometimes twice a day maximum, because I become too tired from work, and that's why. And sometimes, yeah. Also at work, when I see even, yeah, I saw some 50, bro, sorry for saying that, like I saw some 50 years old, very good in shape, and they was working, but they was dressed very provocatively. I mean, like, not very provocatively, but enough to show their shape. So their curve or things like that. Like, I cannot stay like it's very hard for me, bro. I'm sorry. Like what the hell? Yeah. Thank you, yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Yeah. So there's, I mean, you're so conditioned to just lust after women and look at women's bodies, and part of the recovery process is to rewire that. Instead of looking at women or other people as objects to be consumed, look at them as people who have a story and also have longings and needs and desires and griefs and joys and sorrows. But when we look at them as just, hey, I'm going to use you so that I can get off right now, that continues the cycle. I'm going to read an excerpt here from the book Unwanted, one of my favorite books on the topic, Unwanted by Jay Stringer. He goes through the 6 core experiences of unwanted sexual behavior. Experience number 1 is deprivation, the addiction seesaw. Although unwanted sexual behavior appears to be a towering tree of self-indulgence, its strength comes from the massive roots of deprivation beneath the surface. Deprivation and addiction share similar architecture, serving one another when the other is absent, much like a seesaw. Those who deprive themselves of meaningful relationships and self-care are more likely to require other people or things to offer what they are lacking, even if they are destructive forms of the real need. The compulsive choices provoke their counterparts. The more the individual acts out, the more likely they are to deprive themselves of meaningful relationships and self-care because they do not feel as if they deserve them. In my research, when women and men perceived that they had unmet needs, meaning they did not believe that their needs were important or they felt they needed to be secretive to get their needs met, they were incredibly susceptible to unwanted sexual behavior. Ignoring your needs. What's up, Aaron? Ignoring your needs is not virtuous. It is dangerously irresponsible. Your spouse, parents, and friends are not responsible for meeting your needs. You are. Lawrence was 2 years out of medical school when he sought treatment. He described his residency as, quote, the worst hell since middle school, only now with other people's lives on the line. I was working 90 hours a week, responsible for saving lives, and at the same time ridiculed by the other doctors for any mistake I made. I was completely exhausted by work and the demands of my life. When I finally had a day off, I would crash. I didn't eat or sleep well. I was losing touch with people, and the only thing that carried me was what life would be like when I finished. Money and power in the back of every resident's mind. All right, Sam, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to bring Sam on. Sam, what's going on, man?
What up?
Not much. How you doing?
I wouldn't necessarily say I disagree with the background. Like, I don't think in all situations it is. I don't think in all situations it isn't. I think like that's between a couple and the boundaries of their relationship. But yeah, I don't really understand the whole like Korn is the boogeyman type attitude. It's just kind of weird and seems like because you had an issue with it, you want to project that issue onto everyone else.
Got it. Who said Korn's the boogeyman?
See, that's what your attitude about it seems like. That's how I perceive your mentality towards it is.
Got it. Yeah, I think I would.
To you.
Yeah, I think I would share that opinion. And that's just based on research and data and things that we know about pornography and how destructive it is and how bad it is for relationships as well as individuals.
What's your opinion on firearms and how bad those are for kids in schools?
It's not the topic
Are
of
you
the
making
live.
any lives about that?
Nope.
I can guarantee it's way worse than Korn.
Okay, prove it.
I'm
Cite
not
your
sure
source.
if too many people. I'm
If
not
you're
sure
guaranteeing
if too
it,
many people have
cite your
died
source.
from Korn.
So why are you changing the topic? If you
I'm
want to go
not.
talk
I'm
about
just-
firearms, go join a live that's talking about firearms.
That's why I asked, like, why is your live about this if Korn isn't the boogeyman? Or is it?
I think that's the wrong question. What do you mean by that? Whether it's the boogeyman or not?
Is it bad? Should it be banned?
Well, that depends. What do you mean by bad?
Well, I guess that's a subjective. So my question,
If you want to look
actually
at its
is,
impact on relationships, and if we look at the data on what it does to relationships, then yes, we could conclude that it's bad.
do you think it should be banned? Yes or no?
That's forcing somebody into a yes or no question is the most juvenile tactic for a productive conversation.
I just think that's a yes or no question.
It's so much bigger than that. It's easy to say yes or no, but that removes any thought or nuance into the conversation. Because we can't ban
I
it.
don't think there is much nuance. Like, if you don't want to watch it, don't.
Fine. Do you think it should be banned?
No. The easy answer is no, because if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. Why should somebody else have to abide by that?
I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying porn should or shouldn't be banned.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it should be banned. I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, it can be cheating, but it not just by its watching it, inherently viewing it is not cheating.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with your original statement. If you're in a committed, here's how I put it. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part, if you deviate from that agreement or commitment, whether it's using another person on a screen or otherwise, then you have violated the agreement and therefore cheated. If
I
you have
disagree.
not, okay, what do you disagree with about that?
I mean, who are you to determine the boundaries of someone else's relationship because they said I love you and only you?
I'm not, but you didn't listen
Well,
to what I
you're
said.
trying to be.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Listen again very closely. If is a conditional statement. If means if this, then that, or if not this, then that. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship where you've said something like you, or something like I love you, only you, meaning that you're my person, I'm your person. There's an agreement that we're going to be committed and monogamous to one another and one another only. If we deviate from that using other people, we're violating the monogamous agreement. Therefore,
I
that's
think-
cheating because we're going against the agreement. If you have not made that agreement, then you wouldn't be cheating. So if you don't agree in your relationship that it's just the two of you with what you do sexually, then you're not in violation of that and therefore you're not cheating.
I don't necessarily think that monogamy, I think you're using a really specific definition of monogamy that you've decided that you like.
Okay.
I don't think that inherently viewing other people on a screen in a lustful way, breaks monogamy. If those two people who are in the committed monogamous physical relationship, agree.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I would grant that the word monogamy generally literally means a physical sexual relationship, right? But then the question is, the intent of using that word is, what's the agreement between the couple? Is it to have just one another, or is it to have just one another and other people?
Exactly. So you can't make a blanket statement that if a monogamous couple says I love you and only you, then porn is cheating.
Correct.
because
That's why,
that's
again,
not-
listen
that's
to
not
my
the
statement.
case.
Listen to my statement again very clearly. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship, hold on.
No.
If
I've
you're in a
listened
committed
to it
monogamous
twice and I'm screen
relationship,
recording, dude.
oh, good, you're screen recording. I'm streaming it to YouTube. You can go watch the whole thing back on YouTube. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship and you've said something like, meaning it doesn't have to literally be these words, but the intent being, I'm committed to you and only you, you're committed to me and only me. If you said something like that, then if you deviate from that, you're cheating.
Yeah,
So
but
if you-
that could
if
mean
you-
a lot of different things. I'm
Exactly.
committed to you and only you could mean just physically.
Exactly, it could. And that's why it has to be defined in the relationship.
Yeah, so, what's your point? Because what you're basically saying is, depending on the agreement between the couple, porn can be cheating.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what
That's
I'm saying. That's
Then
exactly
why
what
don't
I'm
you just-
saying.
Why don't you just reduce it to those words?
That's what I said. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've
Why
said
are
something
you using
like I love
committed
you,
monogamous relationship. Why can't we make it even broader? If the couple thinks it's cheating, it's cheating. If the couple doesn't, it's not. That's your point.
that is my point.
That's the point you're making.
Yes.
Why don't you make it in those words?
Because those
Why
aren't
do you
the words
have
I
to say
chose.
something about a monogamous couple to try and make someone else feel bad or
Because-
their agreement is wrong? It's so weird and
It's whatever their
disingenuous.
agreement is. Look, a couple can decide whatever they want to. But here's the thing, if you're using other people outside of your partner, you may not be as monogamous as you think you are.
And they may be way more monogamous than you suspect they are because you don't understand the agreements of their relationship.
Which is perfectly fine. which is why I talk to people and I get curious about them and what their story is and what their agreements are before making any conclusions.
Do you ever tell people that the way they're using corn is okay and they're good to keep using it in the way they are?
No, and I actually,
Exactly.
I rarely, if ever, tell people what to do or make it a decision on whether they're doing something as good or bad. Instead, I ask questions of people.
And then you just don't respond? Or like, what's the point of the questions if not to like guide someone?
To create conversation and figure out what people think. Can I ask you a question?
Your name is, so like, do you do any coaching?
What's that?
Your profile name is like porn coach. So do you actually coach people?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're coaching people and you're talking about this, do you ever coach people that it's okay to continue using it in the way they currently are?
I would ask the person the question. It's not up to me to bless somebody's behavior or not.
What is your coaching then? Like, if you're not giving them direction or guiding them, what are you doing? Like, I know you're trying to play dumb to get around answering this, but it's not going to work. You're a coach. You've already admitted it. I asked, have you ever coached someone that they're okay to continue using it the way they are? Ever? That should be a yes or no, because you either have already or you haven't already.
Yeah, and so obviously you don't know about coaching. Coaching is generally a self-directed modality, meaning that I don't decide what somebody wants or where they're wanting to go. They decide where they're wanting to go.
Do you give them ideas and options? Do you propose things to them? Do you tell them what would be best and what wouldn't?
Well, I would ask you the question. Do you think it's best to objectify people and reduce them down to their sexual value only for your sexual gratification? Or do you think people are more valuable than that and we should view them differently?
Okay, well, I think that's an entirely different topic. So if you want to talk about that, we can, but...
That's exactly what this all goes back to, is how you view people.
It entirely depends. I know plenty of people who like have great careers in the corn industry and are way better off because of it than they ever could have been in any other field, just simply based on their talents. So like, if you're trying to say that you're automatically objectifying the people who are like the performers, if you're viewing this content, that's not even close to true, even remotely. So it just depends on someone's intentions. There's no blanket answer.
Why is this topic so important for you?
It's not this topic. It's generally people trying to make other people feel ashamed about something about themselves. That is an issue with me.
Got it. So you've been running your mouth in the comments, and all I've been doing is asking people questions, and for the 2 or 3 people since you've been listening, they've self-identified the fact that they are feeling shameful from their behavior. I didn't have to provoke that in them. So what is it? Why are you putting that on me?
I think your prompt already does that.
Okay. My prompt does it by asking people if porn is cheating.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So it's a good prompt because it creates conversation.
It makes it seem like it's a binary, like it either is or it isn't. So people are already thinking of it in that way when they come up here, and that's not the case at all.
Which I agree. Do you want me to say it again? If you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part, and you go against that agreement, whether it's with the person on a screen or otherwise, then you violated the agreement and therefore you've cheated.
But only according to your definition of monogamous and your definition of agreement.
Monogamy, what does mono mean?
Somebody can be physically monogamous.
What does mono mean? What does mono mean?
One.
Okay, so one. So then how many people in a monogamous relationship would it be acceptable to use or consume for your sexual behavior?
Wait, ask that again?
How many people in a monogamous relationship would it be acceptable to be with in the confines of a monogamous relationship, or to use.
When you mean be with, do you mean physically intimate?
It could be, but it wouldn't have to be.
Or what all do you mean by be with?
What would govern or define the sexual relationship and the romance within that relationship? Is it mono? Is it one person, or is it many, poly? Mono would mean one. So if you're using other people outside of your partner, that wouldn't be mono. That would be poly.
It depends on what you mean by use, though, because
yeah, use
like,
is a pretty bad word in that context. Because I got it.
It's based like, again, you could make the same point by just saying, if the couple agrees it's cheating, it is. If they say it's okay, it's not. Like, that's really the crux of your point. So I don't understand, I guess, why, like, what the whole coach part is. Like, what do you coach people on?
Yeah, well, the overwhelming...
If that's the end, I think that's a pretty easy concept for most adults to grasp.
Yeah, and that's where you're mistaken, my friend.
It's kind of like...
You're mistaken. How old are you?
It's kind of like LGBTQ marriage or a woman's bodily autonomy. It's kind of like, if you don't want one, don't have one. If someone else does, it's none of your business. Easy. This is the same thing.
How old are you?
If it's cheating to them, it's cheating. If it's not to them, it's not. That's the end. I'm 29.
29, got it. Are you... Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Are you heterosexual, homosexual? What's your story?
What's relevant about it? Does that make a difference in terms of corn?
I'm just curious.
No, Deanne, I do not have mommy issues. The opposite, actually. Yes, I'm 29, gay, like, white, divorced parents, but, like, upper middle class, very privileged in the grand scheme of things. Was not really, like, brought up. I was brought up in a very, judgmental is not the right word, like suburban Christian Midwestern family, and so much of that is like, oh, these people are wrong for this and those people are wrong for that, and this is bad and this is gross and this is demonic and this is dirty and we're better than that, and this live has 100% that energy.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I'd probably agree with your lived experience growing up in purity culture and the terrible ramifications of that. It's once been described that learning about sex in church is like going to culinary school and only learning about food poisoning.
Well, I mean, going to church at all is already like drinking bleach. It's like adults are out here believing in magic and the rising of the dead and walking on water, and people in churches is our first problem.
Yeah, if you want to find a bunch of hypocrites, go to a church, that's for sure.
But right, once you can get people to believe that a human walked on water or turned water into wine or fed 10,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish, it's really easy to get them to believe that you're cheating on your spouse if you're like looking at a hot person on the internet.
Got it. So in a monogamous relationship, in your point of view, do you think that it should be... What's that?
I don't even know what monogamous means, really. Like, that's so broad that to say that, I don't even know what you're presupposing with the question.
Got it. Okay. Well, how would you define a monogamous relationship?
I mean, it depends on like the people in the relationship and how far the they want the monogamy to go.
Okay.
Like, can you be in a monogamous relationship if you're like, if I think you can be in a monogamous relationship if you're like, if you're swinging but only swing together. Like you only do group stuff where you're both
Well,
present.
that
can still be monogamous in my opinion.
Well, your opinion doesn't matter there because it actually directly goes against what a monogamous relationship is. And I don't care whether you want to do that or not. Right? But why would you try to call it monogamous if it by definition isn't?
I mean, okay, that example, I see what you mean with that example, but I think you understand what I'm saying too. Like, I guess I'll just go back to the same example I've said a million times and maybe you agree with. You're just using a tone that makes it seem like you're being combative, so I don't feel like I won.
Oh, I'm the one who seems to be combative here. Got it.
Well, I was asking. I wasn't accusing. I was asking. But like if a couple agrees that like beating off and looking at naked people on the internet isn't violating like their monogamy, is that still monogamy?
What I would say to that man, look, I'm not going to. Hold on. Look,
violating the fidelity and the faithfulness of our relationship because we've agreed on that. That's still monogamy.
Yeah. Look, man, I just want to say, I'm not your enemy, dude.
Right?
I am not your enemy, dude. I will be as logically consistent as I can be here. Okay?
Right?
You're like
That's
trying to
still
fight
monogamy?
me. You're trying to fight me, and this has nothing to do with me or the
that's
tone.
why I said
There's
maybe
something.
we do agree, and it's just the tone that it seems like we don't. So can
Totally.
you answer my question then? Right?
What I would say,
if they agree that you're not violating the faithfulness of a relationship, then that's still a monogamous relationship if it's not physical with anyone else.
yeah, I'm not willing to die on the hill that
I'm just
monogamy.
asking if you can answer my question. I'm already over my
And
break because I've
I
let you
am
go
answering
on,
your
bro.
question, and I will not
It's a
answer.
yes or no question.
I will
I'm
not
right or
answer.
I'm not right.
I will not answer binary yes or no questions. They're not useful. It's not useful for conversation.
I made a statement and then I said, "Am I right?" Like you can say I'm right, and if I'm not right, you can say I'm not.
It's not about being right or wrong. There's more nuance to that. Okay? What I would say is you may not be as monogamous as you think you are if you're claiming to be with just one partner and you're going to other people for sexual pleasure.
But maybe
Because you got to look at the intent of a monogamous relationship is it's me and you. That's
what
it.
you determine as going to other people is not the same for everyone.
Sure. But then there's the question, when does cheating become cheating?
Then it can still be monogamy. So I was right. Thank you for answering.
I would not agree with that. I would not agree with that.
When the agreement of the couple has been violated,
Got it.
that's when it's cheating.
Got it. So then there needs to be really clear definitions on what the agreement is. And so in this case with pornography,
why would you get married to somebody if there wasn't? That's like
most people do. This is the thing. This is why I do this, Sam, because most people don't have that conversation before they get married.
Are
and
you
then typically, yes, I'm married. And then typically the woman finds out that
For
their
how
partner's 14 years, their partner's hiding pornography behind their back. And then they're like, what the heck? What's going on?
Do you go to a church?
Yes, I go to a church.
Figures. Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, man. Nice chatting with you. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone. Hello, Krista. Hello, Kaylee. Is my mic low? WTF? Why is my mic low? Look, I'll still W in the chat for that guy. All right. I mean, that was a whole situation, but we're here to have conversations, okay? Whew. Woo-hoo. Hello, Dark Angel. Yeah, best of luck, Sam. We'll bring you back on sometime when you want to chat. Yeah, it's weird. Some people say my mic is low, other people don't. One time somebody said I look like Ryan Reynolds with a missing chromosome. People say all sorts of stuff. And that's fine. You can have whatever opinion you want. What's up, Erica? How's it going? Why are you saying put me in prison? What does that mean? I'll be right back and then I'll bring on another guest. Hold on. Sam, I absolutely do want a conversation. No person would have hung in for you as long as I did if they didn't actually want a conversation. I did not shut you down. I heard your point. I responded thoughtfully and logically. All right, man. Look, I am not your enemy. And dude, thank you for sharing. Okay? Thank you for sharing. I'll be right back. You think you responded, you retreated to a talking point. Definitions are important, man. Definitions and conversations are important. I'll bring another guest on here. Let me just finish this part of unwanted, the 6 core experiences of unwanted sexual behavior. The deprivation addiction seesaw. Pornography had been part of Lawrence's life on and off during medical school. When he completed his residency, his unwanted sexual behavior amplified. He started using dating apps for hooking up and ended up buying sex several times. Looking back now, I see that it was entitlement from a decade of deprivation and training. I had just finished the most rigorous feat I could imagine and now had money and power. Excuse me. I had decent friends in undergrad, but by the time I finished med school, I didn't have one close relationship. I remember thinking that even if I wanted to get married, I didn't have a single friend who could be a groomsman. This made it easy to continue what I was doing. The catch-22 of deprivation is that it promotes entitlement while requiring that one sink even deeper into deprivation. One of the primary reasons men and women stay in a place of unwanted sexual behavior for decades is that they have not addressed the areas of self-deprivation in their lives. My research showed that only 27% of pornography users had a solid pattern of self-care, like exercise, eating well, and time with friends. The majority of those who struggle with unwanted sexual behavior chose passivity over against asking for what they need, or being honest about what they are expecting. They roam through life feeling overworked and underappreciated, which sets up entitlement for experiences they believe they deserve. Deprivation occurs in both overt and subtle ways. It may appear superficially noble, such as always deferring to others to decide where to go to dinner because of the fear of making the wrong choice, or taking on extra projects at work because of preferring exhaustion and stress over rest and meaningful relationships. For others, it is a neglect of basic physical care. When I ask my clients about sleep or the last time they visited a doctor or dentist, the answers are often alarming. They commonly report feeling as though they are behind on something, such as work projects or cleaning out their cars. One client told me that his company owed him more than $125,000, and in the same session told me that a yoga membership and eating more healthy foods would be too expensive. The painful discovery many people make is that they never noticed how deep the roots of deprivation were until they found themselves trapped in unwanted sexual behavior. Suspending the impulse to condemn this behavior will allow curiosity about the ways addiction purports to nourish legitimate needs. It is difficult to see how far we've wandered in search of these legitimate needs, but it is our lament that gives us the courage to return home. In the parable of the prodigal son, the younger brother discovers his deprivation through feeling the hunger in his belly and the shame in his soul. Paradoxically, it sets the awareness of this deprivation and squandering behavior that fills him with the longing to return to the comfort of his father's home. And there's a little chart here. Deprivation and unwanted sexual behavior. Number one, men and buying sex. Men who bought sex were nearly 4 times more likely to report unmet needs. Men and affairs. Men were 2.5 times more likely to pursue or fantasize about an affair when they reported unmet needs. For women and anonymous affairs, women were nearly 5 times more likely to pursue or fantasize about an anonymous affair when they reported unmet needs. And number 4, women in affairs with someone they know. Women were nearly 3 times more likely to pursue or fantasize about an affair with someone they know when they reported unmet needs. Again, this is from chapter 8 of Unwanted, the 6 core experiences of unwanted sexual behavior. All right, let's bring on another guest. Oh, not that one. Hey there, what's going on? Johnny, welcome back, my friend.
Hey, I had you in my pocket. I was listening to you. I think I pushed the wrong button there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, how you been doing since yesterday?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. Maintained last night. That stream actually helped me a lot last night. Who did you have on? What was her name? Marcy, was it?
Marcy, yeah. The cam girl?
Yeah. That was incredibly eye-opening. I never really had a problem with cam girls or anything, but man, that change in her was remarkable.
Yeah.
Kudos on that.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure talking to her. She's been on a few times in the last few weeks. Let me just address Sam's comment. Sam, you obviously don't know what a coach is. If it were so easy to just tell somebody, hey, stop watching porn, they wouldn't need a coach or they wouldn't need guidance. But it's not that easy. Okay? Like, have you ever tried to help somebody with something? If you just say, don't do that or stop doing that, it won't work. Anyways. What else, man? So that was helpful for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was nice to see. Like I said, I never really struggled with that personally, but I know a lot of people who have, and that was really nice. That was really exceptional. She took a really, really difficult step there.
Yeah.
I don't really understand Sam's point, though. I really didn't know what he was going for.
Feedback for you, Sam. Feedback.
Well, like, here's the thing. He said that if a couple decides it's cheating, then it's cheating, all right? So I understood, right? That's his logic. If a couple decides it's cheating, then it's cheating. Therefore, that couple, if they have a problem, needs to go to someone to get help, right? So that's what you're for. You're coach.
And let me address your comment. You tried to say you don't guide them. You don't make suggestions, remember? I won't guide somebody to somewhere they don't want to go. What I will do is ask somebody, hey, where are you wanting to go? And if they're saying, I want to stop watching porn, great. We'll work towards that outcome. Right? That's it. And look, coaching is you're obviously not up for good faith conversation. So there's no point. All right, man. Anything else you want to share?
Not particularly anything other than it's a great day. If there's anybody listening, stay away from it. Enjoy your day, get some coffee, go out in the sun, and that'll be it for me. I didn't even mean to join. I'm feeding the animals, and I was listening in. But
Nice,
you
man.
have yourself a great day, man.
Yep, you too. I got my second pot of coffee here that I'm working on. So appreciate that. Can you please bring Sam back on? I've never seen anyone on your live as illogical. I'd be happy to have Sam back on. No problem. If he wants to come back on. But I think he had to go back to work.
Hey there, what's going on?
Not too much.
I was actually just scrolling through and I saw this question: is porn cheating?
Mhm.
You gotta mind the noise. I got my son's in the background. He's playing with his toys,
No
but
problem, man.
I can still go ahead and have a conversation and talk about this as well too.
Yeah,
Is porn cheating?
that's the question.
What? What? So where is your stance first for the question? Like where is your stance with this?
I believe if you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, mind, body, and soul till death do us part, if you deviate from that agreement, whether it's using a person on a screen or otherwise, I think you've gone against the agreement and you're therefore cheating.
Oh, well, then based on that definition and based on, the way you said that as well too, then I could go ahead and full-heartedly agree with you that, porn would be cheating. And it's not even just like limiting you to that whole entire aspect of porn is cheating as well too. Because let's go ahead and open it up, slightly with the if you're in a committed monogamous marriage. Let's go ahead, committed monogamous marriage, correct?
Yep.
And when you're in that marriage, the man, let's go based on Bible terms as well too, or Bible, aspects of the man, the one who will, provide, the one who will take care of things, the one that will be there, essentially as the defender and the protector of the house. And the woman is the spiritual connection for the man as well too, when it comes to just the household, as in like she's the one that will always be there to, continuously uplift him and make sure and push him towards he's doing the right thing within God's name. Now, we put that there because now this is the part in hearing that if a man is to go out and seek another's woman, viewpoint or another's woman opinion as well too, is that like emotional cheating then?
If they're seeking another, say the question again.
Like if a man goes out and he finds another woman's opinion, he starts to bond with that woman as well too over like her viewpoints and the way she does things, is that emotional cheating?
I think that's too short of a question to say yes or no. I mean, if you're just saying,
no, you go ahead.
I think the intent of what you're saying is like you're forming a bond and getting something from somebody else who's not your partner that would otherwise be reserved for your partner. I would say that would be a problem.
Yeah, and because yes, exactly, because like what you said as well too, on the porn is cheating, aspect, as in, I don't.
But like, let me give you an example. I'm taking my wife on a date on Saturday. She doesn't know this yet. I hopefully she can't hear me. Like, I asked another friend of ours who's a woman, hey, what's your opinion on this date idea I'm planning for my wife?
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a problem.
That would not be a problem at all.
Right.
We can all agree that would not be a problem.
Yeah.
But the problem comes in, because what porn does and then what the emotional cheating story or the example I'm laying out is essentially, let's say porn is that escape where I can't have sex with my wife for, let's say, whatever reason. You can say whatever reason up under the sun. You can't have sex with your wife for whatever reason. So then you use porn as like, I don't know which way people like to tier this stuff as well too. You use porn as a way of, hey, I'm going to say this is the less harmful thing I could probably do that is like, to a person acceptable, right? As in like, back to that question that back to the statement that you said. If you was to want to take your wife out, or you're going to take your wife out on a date, and you go ask another woman's opinion on something as well too, to a certain extent, that tier, that is not problematic. But then it's the issue on when you go further beyond it, because when you allow, hey, for example, let's use drugs as an issue as well too. When you say, hey, I'm going to just smoke this crack pipe one time, or smoke this weed one time, or drink this alcohol one time, and then you start to like it and you chase it, then at that point it becomes an issue and a problem. But if you manage to keep a control at it of like, hey, look, emotionally I'm going through things with my wife, or emotionally I'm going through things with my spouse, and I'm out seeking, and in the Bible they refer to the woman as Jezebel. If I go out and seek a Jezebel, then that's cheating. So that's how come, like, I want to hear, your opinion on it as well too, because I could agree that porn is cheating along with, many other aspects as well too. And the other part I wanted to add in is just like, I want to hear the tier of it, because if you're in a monogamous, committed not even relationship, but marriage, because relationship of being monogamous in a relationship is like only abstinence. You only going to be practicing, to fight off, all these other, like, temptations. And then when you get married, after you get married, everything of what y'all did within your relationship and fighting off the temptations, it just only becomes more solid, because now it's not just like you as a man and you as a woman, but it's like both of you under God at that moment. So, and I'm saying this because I was like, hey, I agree with your statement. Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely cheating. That is definitely cheating. I agree with the statement.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a great question. And I don't think that can be answered necessarily definitively, right? Or differently put, when does cheating become cheating? Similarly,
exactly.
When does pornography become pornography? Right?
Yeah.
It's actually been debated for centuries, and there was a Supreme Court opinion back in the 60s where the Supreme Court justice actually said something to the effect of, I don't know what it is, but I know it when I see it. Right? And he used in the book The Porn Myth by Matt Fradd, he actually uses the beard analogy to land that point.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys not hear me at all? I don't get it. Some people say they can't hear me, some people say they can. But I'm going to keep talking. Yeah, they can hear me. So, like, is this a beard? Would you call this a beard?
Well, I will actually call that, like, stubbles, to be honest.
Stubble,
it's the start
right?
of a beard, but it's
The start of a
not
beard.
a beard exactly.
Yeah. So when does a beard become a beard, right?
Yeah.
So when does pornography become pornography, right? So somebody in the chat said it is a beard. You said it isn't a beard. So what is it, right? But the point of that statement, I know it when I see it, is it's like, that's porn. I know when it crosses that line. So to use that same logic with cheating, when does cheating become cheating, right? The argument that I use a lot that pretty much, gets no rejection is, okay, if it's just physical, that's what people say a lot. Cheating is when it's physical. Okay, well, what do you mean by that? Is it the moment of insertion? Is that when cheating becomes cheating? And most people will say no. It starts sometime before insertion, right?
Yeah, and just like what we said as well too, because we could be in agreement. I don't know if you have to agree to the statement, but I'll say this statement as well too. Once you are having an issue with your significant other that you cannot come to her and talk to her about, and you go seek a Jezebel in a way, and Jezebel, in Bible sense as well too, was a woman who, had immoral ways of getting things out of men, by the way, for all the listeners. But, once you go seek a Jezebel and you find her as well too, and you confide in her, it's not just the whole entire thing of like, it gotta be physical, but it's you open up yourself to somebody else who is not the person that you are practicing or the person you are supposed to be with and committed to in a way. So cheating, to a line or to a degree, like you said, is it physical? No, it doesn't always have to be physical. It could always start with, a comment, conversation, a topic or something as well too, that introduces somebody else into something where it's supposed to be essentially private with you and your significant other. Like you talked about with the Supreme Court and the justice as well too. The biggest issue I see, or the biggest issue I have, is with society today versus, and many people talk about 60, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, right? Many people talk about it. But the biggest issue I have is and I was raised by my parents as well too, both my mom and dad. They never allowed another person into their bedroom. They never allowed people into their house. And by what I mean is, nobody knew what my dad and mom talked about when the door was closed in their room and nobody knew what they did and how they resolved things in their room. And when it's like, don't allow people into your house, you could play outside with your friends and let them know everything going on, having good and stuff as well too. But then when they come inside the house, you're not going to let them inside your house when it's a mess. You're not going to let them inside the house when you're going to have problems. So, essentially they drew that line. But, today in society, our line keeps moving further and further away from just that one, and I would say it is a very, visible line, that one visible line, which is, don't allow people inside. That's the very visible line. If you allow somebody inside your house, you got to trust somebody to be inside your house and know that they have the best intentions for you, which is like, many people will go into religion, their pastor, their priest, their rabbi, as somebody that will be like, allowed inside their house, because that's essentially allowing God in their house. But you will not allow, and I'm thinking maybe this is the probably reason why most men back then in the day had skills to fix up their own house, and women back in the day had skills to cook and clean and take care of their own household. So that way they wouldn't allow somebody in their house to say like, hey, I don't know how to cook and clean, but there's a woman out here that knows how to cook and clean. Oh, my wife is not laying down with me. Oh, but there's a woman out there that will lay down with me,
Yeah, man. And just to simply put it, right, is I think the problem begins once you take your eyes, and eyes is figurative, right? Your heart posture, when you take them away from your spouse to try to satisfy what's going on outside of your relationship. That's when the problems begin, right? If you want to call that cheating, emotional cheating, that's when it starts. And so, yes, there is something, there's emotional cheating and physical cheating. They are different things, right? But I think the better question is, what would be the most honorable way to be with your partner, right? What type of posture would you need to take as a husband or as a wife to be the most honoring towards your partner? With pornography, my opinion, this is just my opinion, is that it's not honoring towards your partner to go use another person on a screen for your sexual pleasure. That's my opinion. People don't have to agree with that, right? I think it's honorable to say, you know what, whatever this desire is that's coming up for me, I'm gonna reserve that for my relationship.
Yeah, and that I could also agree with as well too, because I don't have an issue with, okay, so myself in society and the way you out there also, I'm going to lean on the Supreme Court thing as well too, right? Because we have seen a morph and change within, the expression of love within media, to the point where, there's even times where you'll go to a PG-13 movie and you'll get softcore action within movies as well too. And to those times and to those extents of those things being in movies, that is first off an issue, just by the symbols alone of like, I would say even like men, men also have like, the symbols as well too, of good body, oiled up, let's use Magic Mike as a movie example and stuff as well too. It's all around there and all around us as well. And you hit it on a point of like, is porn cheating? Yes, porn is cheating. And the true, not even a true, but the other part to this is, where is you and your partner's opinion on things as well? Because if y'all do not have alignment on just the opinion, then y'all can't really go enjoy a movie together in today's society, or y'all really can't have certain conversations or talk about certain things within a certain aspect, because the issue that also comes from just like even pornographic depictions and stuff as well too, in movies, TV shows, media, and anything around us. The biggest problem is when one person, and you have been very open, by the way, as well too. So it's not you, just so it's not you. And I don't know if anybody else in the comment section is like this as well too. But when one person is not willing to come to the table and sit down and say, hey, this is where my line is at. I believe in this and I believe in that. I believe this is a problem and that's a problem. And when the other person doesn't want to come sit down and also have that fair conversation as well too, then that is when, porn and emotional cheating comes in, because that's when, you know, your mind and your heart's eyes start to look towards something else. Like, you know what, you're not talking the same way I'm talking, and you're not like looking at the same way I'm looking. And if we were to pursue a relationship, then essentially everything of what I'm going to be doing, from the way I dress to what I eat to who I have a conversation with, is going to be perceived as cheating.
Yeah, totally, man. Totally. Thanks for
man.
sharing, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, there's no problem at all. Actually, like I said, I was just cruising through the whole entire TikTok. I'm very happy you out there invited me on. I actually,
Yeah.
I like the questions and stuff as well too, and I like the open conversations as well. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not going to plug myself. But I like to
Plug yourself. Plug
have a-
yourself. Plug yourself.
Oh, well, I mean, my TikTok channel is I'm Joe Daddy. Is a play on words because I'm a father of 5 kids. And I like to have my opinion on TV shows and movies, but I also do like to have opinions on conversation topics as well too, like freedom of speech, gun rights, and many things. Like, I just like to have a conversation and talk about it. I don't really want to push any narrative. It's just an opinion, and I'm very welcome and open to like hearing anybody out say, hey, why do you think this is not good, and why do you think it's bad?
Love it. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you came here. I'll give you a follow as well.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing, man. All right, take care.
Oh, you are very much welcome. You take care.
All right. All right. So the problem with drinking 2 pots of coffee before noon is that you have to pee all the time. So I'll be right back. All right. Shout out to my bug guy. Had a million ants in and around my house, and they're all gone now. Thanks, bug guy. Sam's still here. Sam, you want to get back on here, man? Why is one morally superior to the other? Where do you get your morals from? Sam, look, man, I don't know if you're still here or not, but I am curious why you're still here, right? I think there's something to notice there for you. It's like, I'm totally fine with you sharing your opinion and being wherever you are, and we're kind of defining terms. That's totally fine. I'm not mad about it. But what I'm noticing is just the tone you have here. Like, what is this about for you? Sam, I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think anybody here feels judged. I don't think any guest that I've had on here has felt judged. I could be wrong. I also don't think that, in chat, you guys tell me, like, do you think that anybody here is being morally superior to others? People could have that opinion. But I think there's a lot for you to notice about how you're responding to this topic, Sam. Just did when you said saving it was honorable. I didn't say that. I literally didn't say that. I did say I think it's more honorable to not masturbate while watching strangers have sex. I think it's a more honorable orientation to your partner, and that's an opinion. You can disagree with that opinion. If you think it's more honorable to masturbate while watching strangers have sex within the confines of a committed monogamous relationship, You can have that opinion. It's totally fine. Why is your opinion morally superior? Who's saying it is? If I'm saying my opinion is morally superior, that's a problem. You're imputing that I'm saying that my opinion is morally superior. I'm not suggesting that by any means. And if that's the impression you're getting, I'm sorry. Yeah, honorable means bringing or worthy of honor. And honor means high respect or great esteem, to regard with great respect. So I think it is a more honorable, more respectful orientation in a relationship to maintain your focus on just your partner and not other people in addition to that. Hey there, what's going on?
Hi, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you, Deanne.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, you know what? It has ruined my relationship. Totally.
Sorry to hear that.
The person I've been with for almost 4 years, and I was supposed to marry in October 19th. Found out he is not just been looking at just normal porn, but getting motel rooms and having live sex one-on-one with people, man, and I think man and woman. But he says it's not cheating, and that I shouldn't be upset about that because he can't touch them. He's not touching them. So how is that cheating?
Wait, but he's having sex with them?
Well, yeah, online. I'm sorry, online.
Wait,
because there's okay. So he's going to a motel room.
Hold on, let me, and Sam, you gotta stop, man. You're reading so much into what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I believe it's more honorable. That's it. There's a period at the end of that sentence. That's it. And Sam, I'm totally here for you in the conversation. I'm gonna have to ask you come on and chat with me, and if not, I'm just gonna mute you. Okay, man. All right. So you said you're engaged to be married, and your partner's.
We were, yes.
You were.
Yeah, and then I found some videos of that he saved of him. First off, he would cause an argument, so he can go get a motel room, so he can have that alone time to have sex online, one-on-one with people. So he says
he would
that's
get
not
motel
cheating.
rooms to have internet sex with people.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it. And he said that
And-
that's not cheating.
He says he's not cheating because he can't physically touch them.
Yeah.
And he's upset at me and caused me crazy for thinking that it is cheating
Yeah.
and that something's wrong with me.
Mm.
And it's been a hard pill to swallow because he'll have sex with me and I feel like we have crazy awesome sex, man. So I think that I'm taking care of my man, because that's why he makes me feel and tells me. And then he'll ignore me for the rest of the month to go and to do his thing, to let him be who he is. That's what he tells me. You don't allow me to be who I am. So does that mean to go and have sex with other people? I mean, how do I allow that?
Do you want to allow that?
No. But how does somebody from just go from looking at, that's where Sam, here's an example where you start looking at small porn, and pretty soon you don't get the endorphins from just small little pictures or small little videos, and you have to look for more and more and more.
Yep.
And then you eventually start going down a path where you didn't think you were going to go.
Yeah, totally.
And,
Porn use always escalates into something else. Next thing you know, you're in hotel rooms by yourself having virtual sex with people on
Exactly. You know what? And this is crazy of me because I'm kind of a crazy girl, but I wanted to test him last night, and I wanted to seriously test him. And so I got, looked up. I got all sexy looking lingerie, and I said, you know what? I want to play like you're just, we have a screen between us. And I got some little toys and all that, and try to stimulate him, But I said, you can't touch me though, because there's a screen between us. And he can handle it.
That's pretty creative.
So he wanted to, and he goes, you can't touch me. Because you don't know me. I'm just a stranger. I says, and I asked him questions when I'm like, taking care of myself. I like, do you have a good woman at home? Why are you with her? What is she not doing for you? And he didn't have an answer. He says, well, yeah, she does and all that, because I enjoy sex. I'm not like, I don't think I'm like a normal woman, actually. I enjoy it. And I was like, well, why aren't you with your woman? Why do you prefer your hand looking at a stranger over being with your woman? And then I got him frustrated where he started yelling at me, and you always want to cause a fight, and he couldn't handle it. But I stood my boundaries, because I thought, if I gave in to him to having sex with him again after finding that would tell him it's okay for me that's okay for me to allow him to do that. And that's a hard thing, because I miss that. So, it's hard for me. It's extremely hard. Mm-hmm. So it just escalates and escalates. And then if you don't put up your boundaries, which I didn't at first, because honestly, I read a letter that he wrote about me. He goes, well, I started dating Deanne because, she had low self-esteem. And, he knew I didn't have the boundaries in, and that I just wanted to please him. And I found my voice, and I found my boundaries, and he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And
good for you for finding your voice.
But to have him tell me that I'm the crazy one all the time, or get mad if I show any emotion or whatever,
Yeah. Well, you're not crazy. Viktor Frankl has a great line. He says, an abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior. So if you've been betrayed by somebody who's using pornography behind your back or sneak around having affairs, and you're responding all crazy, that's normal. That's how you should respond.
Exactly. I don't know. He fed me the line that that he's changed and all that. And I feel stupid for believing him. Lesson learned. But I guess I'm like, how do people betray people like that way? If they know that it's going to hurt the other person, they know it's against their boundaries and going against what you believe in a relationship. How does that person choose to go behind your back and do that?
Yeah.
That's what hurts the most.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Sam, you're still there. It's great if you're both into and all that, but him, the guy I've been with, he shared his wife with his best friend. And I go, how's that love, man? And he wanted to share me with somebody, of course, from his choosing. And that would make me feel like a whore. It made me not feel like he truly loved me, and just to give into his fantasy. That's not love to me. Love is commitment, feeling secure, and that you're gonna be faithful, and you're thoughtful of my feelings, and not make me feel bad for feeling that way. So, porn affects relationships big time. I don't know if who was who was that talker?
Hold on. I gotta respond to Sam's comment.
Okay.
Put out more. Your libido has to match your partner's. Sam, I'm going to assume you haven't read a lot of books on this topic in the research, which I'm not saying that to be morally superior, but there's actually a lot of data on this. Dr. David Schnarch wrote a book called Intimacy and Desire, and he makes the claim in his researching essentially, I'm overgeneralizing, but humanity over since the beginning of time. He makes the point, no two people have ever had a perfectly desired sexual drive, a perfectly matched sexual drive. That's just a reality in relationships, in every relationship. So the question is not how do we match our perfect, have a perfectly matched desire. It's what do we do knowing the reality that we are going to be mismatched. We can either go use other people to satisfy that, or have self-control, come back and have conversation with our partner. What are we really wanting in this relationship when it comes to our sexual desire? And if we're trying to just have instant gratification, that will subvert true intimacy from being achieved in the relationship. Don't take my word for that, though. Go read Intimacy and Desire by Dr. David Schnarch. God rest his soul. Anyways.
Yeah.
So did you leave the relationship, Deanne?
Oh, unfortunately, he has to live with me right now.
Why?
So, but I'm putting up my boundaries, and he doesn't like that.
Why does he have to live with you?
Well, actually, I'm the one that's been paying. You know what's crazy is that I was reading all the things that what porn addiction does to how to level up in their life and to take care of responsibility. He has a gambling addiction. He has a drug addiction. He has. So that's why I asked you, do you have mommy issues? Because he has mommy issues. His dad was not in his life.
Hold on one second. Nicole, welcome. Congrats on the new baby, Nicole. Nicole, way to go. Let's go, Nicole. Okay, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Congratulations. But I said that to, he was exposed to it at a very young age. It's all he's known, which is sad. Mm-hmm. And he's never had a good figure that way to show him differently. And so I took it as me as an empath and wanting to try to heal him, of course. And it's taken me almost 4 years to realize I can't.
Yeah.
You
can't heal him.
I
can't do it.
No. And it's against who I am, though. I'm not the caregiver, I always make sure he's okay and I take care of him. But does he remember those things? No. But I've I always have you heard of if I was the devil, who said that that broadcaster, if I was the devil, that he would break up families through porn and gambling and all these other things. I can't think of his name right now, but it's back in I think 1966 or something. But,
if I was the devil, I would break up families. Reflects a common theme. Who said that?
Yes. And that's always been a strong thing of mine. And I thought I got through him that we're all energy, right? We share energy. This is where I can feel somebody's energy clear across the world. We pick up on people's energy. And so I don't care if there's a screen right there. You pick up on their energy. You pick up all their trauma and all their stuff. You take on their body. And you embed them into your body and your soul. You accept them into you. That's a big thing to me. I used to be kind of crazy back in the day, but I realized that how important is who you allow into your body and into your space, because it affects you. It can be good and bad. See, we all need to be careful who we allow in. Are they bringing negative into our lives? Are they bringing positive to our lives? Are they uplifting us to a higher level? Do they have goals? I looked at his history on his what he looks up. He spends hours upon hours looking at porn. He has no goals. He's in debt. He didn't have to pay for rent at all this month. Didn't pay nothing.
So why I'm just curious, why is he still living with you?
Actually, I told him last night after he couldn't get to do his thing. I told him, I says, I can't do it anymore. I says, you haven't contributed at all. This is where it's hard for me, I'm sorry, it's hard as a woman to not think, is something wrong with me? Am I not sexy enough? and I not, what's wrong with how I look, or sorry that I'm not performing like these other porn stars are that do that for a living. It's hard not to take that personally as a woman, especially getting older, and I've had to realize it's his problem. But it's still hard on me.
Yeah.
Because he can go through Rolodex and Rolodex of pictures and pictures of a woman. I will never compare. I never will. So he gets bored. It's boredom. Man get bored of looking at the same woman, and it's not fair to the woman that they're with. That is total betrayal. You will never have a healthy relationship. They will never feel loved. You will never have that bond that you could have had if you would not have even allowed that into your life. Because I'm competing against all these other women that I don't even know. And that's not fair to me. That was not fair to our relationship. Because we could have had an awesome relationship, but he allowed that into our space and our relationship.
Yeah.
And it ruined it.
Yeah. And you having that awareness to say, I'm not going to compete against this anymore.
No.
Is you taking agency back in your life. Because you can never win. Women,
No.
you don't want to compete against porn. You can't win that game. You can't win.
Oh, no.
And you don't want to win.
No, I don't want to become one of them. I call them sluts and whores and skanks. But I go, you know what?
Okay.
I told him today. I go, you're not worthy of me. I go, I know what I am worth, and that it took me a long time to say that.
Mm. Yeah.
I've gone in 2 relationships before that. They both cheated, and I say, what's wrong with man? Why? He says, all men do it. All men do it.
That's not true.
But that's his excuse. Well, everybody does it. What's wrong with you? I go, there has to be some faithful man out there because I'm tired of being hurt.
Yeah.
I'm getting at age. I want to have a man that loves me, respects me, and then I don't have to worry about him hiding his phone or hiding what apps he's on, and he can look at my phone anytime. To entertain and talk to people I know, other girls I know that I asked him not to not respect my boundaries. It's taken me to my age to, and it's hard. It's hard to stay strong.
Yeah.
But so anybody says, oh, it doesn't affect a relationship. Bullshit on that. Unless that woman doesn't, to me, when people say that, oh, well, you know what? I don't care if my man gets some porn or my woman gets some porn. To me, that means that you don't really love your partner. Because I told him, when I chose him, I had no desire to look at another man. I only saw eyes for you. That is what love is. Why would I be searching for somebody else when I had the man right in front of me?
Yeah.
So
you've realized that it's not about you. And now you get to go posture yourself in the world knowing that that's true. And you don't have to be there to try to help some man realize that. There's something going on for him, that's for sure, that got him to that point. But now you get to say you're going to live your life without that.
Question. This is kind of, I need to ask this question. If and I don't know how to get, I'll try to say this in a nice way where I won't get banned. If a man is having online sex with other man and woman, and he enjoys that up his behind, would I think he's gay, or maybe he's bi, but he also he's on fetish sites. I found into trans and everything basically. How should I take that? And and maybe that's the reason why when he's been intimate with me, he can't come. Mm-hmm. Now I can do everything in the book. It has to be. Do I have to be a stranger? Do I have to be a man? I mean, this is what's killing me inside.
Well, I think that's the wrong question, right? I don't know. I would have to talk to him to ask him why he's doing that.
Well, I tried.
Well, the question is, what are you wanting for your relationship? It sounds like you're very unsettled by what's going on.
Oh,
for him.
I've been hurt big time.
Yeah, and so the question is, what are you going to do about that? You can lead a
well,
horse
since
to
I-
water, but you can't make him drink. And so
No,
he's
he's not-
playing out a whole bunch of stuff, right? And
Oh, yeah,
some of
he's
it
a-
sounds like it's an escalation path, right? Porn use
Oh, and,
always escalates into something else.
Well, it's sad when I mean, I hate to put out the word narcissist, but really think he is. But I've never dealt with somebody like this before.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
So
you know,
I got to get going here, but I want to read a quote
Okay, that's
that's relevant to what you're saying. The more you use porn, the more it adversely affects your sexual life. Research has actually shown that the best way to have less sex and less satisfying sex is to watch porn.
exactly.
Porn simultaneously overloads you with sexual stimulation while also teaching you to only consider your own sexual desires. Porn is so appealing not merely because it is erotic, but also because it lets you create a world where nothing is required of you. Real sex asks you to know and develop your desires while also learning to study, delight in, and call forth the desires of another. Therefore, if you want to limit your sexual potential, porn is the fastest route to do so.
You know what? Thank you for saying that. I actually, to end it, I actually told him that last night. I says, your mind has been so overstimulated by looking at porn. And I says, guess what? You don't have to deal with them when they wake up in the morning. They have bad breath. Guess what? They're gonna have messy hair. Their makeup's not gonna be all perfect. They're gonna have problems. You don't have to deal with the real world with them. You're in a fantasy world, and you don't. And that's your escape.
Yeah.
And with me, you had to face the real world.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Well, and the invitation for you, Deanne, is, and I know that you're doing this, but why are you putting up with that? Right? It's like you're trying so hard to convince him of something, but he's actually being pretty honest with you in the sense that he's saying, you know what, I'm going to go to a hotel and live out my fantasy with some.
No, I find it. You know what? I'm bad. I got on his laptop. Oh, and why would a man be obsessed about videotaping himself of pleasuring himself? He has like probably 100 more videos of him doing that.
Mhm.
What's that? That's just weird to me. I don't know. That's just weird. But he gets off more watching himself get off than he does more than anything. It's just weird to me. But anyway, I'm glad he didn't pay anything on rent. I'm glad I covered all the rent, utilities and everything. I paid for the food. I don't need him. He proved to me.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing is being alone again. But I always was alone anyway, in my way, right? And to find my worth again and find a man that appreciates me.
Yeah, I love that for you. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for thank you for talking with me. Appreciate you.
Yep. All right.
Bye bye.
W's in the chat for our guests. All right, I'm gonna get off here in just a minute. Sam, here's the thing, man. I'm totally fine with you being here and sharing, but here's the thing. It's so distracting, particularly when you say something like the whole morally superior. I answered your question. So when I answer your question and then you spam, oh, you're coming back on here, and then you spam the same response 25 times in the chat, it's not helpful for anybody, man. Like, that's the answer. I think it's more honorable, period. You spamming some nonsensical response to that 20 times doesn't do anything. And I'm so curious, like, why are you still here? What is going on for you to where you're sitting in this chat seemingly not being drawn into the nuance of this whole conversation? And I'm happy to hash it out with you on here, man. I really am. But it's got to be respectful. It's not a vacuum, dude. If this is your first time coming on, last night I had a panel. I think Erica, are you still here? Of two people who were vehemently opposed to this position, and a cam girl, and we had a great conversation for an hour and a half. Who was here last night? That was a great live, I think. What's up, Cowboy Bunny Beep? So a vacuum would look like, Sam, a vacuum would look like me saying, hey, you're wrong. I don't want your opinion. Get out of here. That's a vacuum, but that's actually quite the opposite of what this is. I will let anybody with any opinion come on here and talk as long as you're respectful. Okay? All right. Great being with you all today. I'm going to go, maybe on later tonight. Make it a great day or not, the choice is always yours. And by the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, both for men who are struggling with unwanted sexual behavior, such as porn or sex addiction, and women who are dealing with partner betrayal trauma, the trauma that a partner experiences when they've discovered a betrayal. If you're interested in working with me, what I offer, go to the link in my bio, and I'd love to chat with you. If not, no problem. Give me a follow. We'll see you next time. But the coach doesn't come with any advice. He just asks questions, which is, in my training, what a great coach does. I could just get on here and say, don't watch porn, don't watch porn, don't watch porn. That would be 0% useful, just like your experience growing up in church, like you described, Sam, which I agree. It's a pretty bad approach, and so I won't do that. Okay? And if you're not here for it, go somewhere else, bro. Give me a follow if you guys like my content. If not, follow me anyways. Come back and argue with the people in my comments sometimes, like Sam. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.